Frankenweenie is a stop-motion animated film directed by Tim Burton. When a boy's beloved dog passes away suddenly, he attempts to bring the animal back to life through a powerful science experiment. This film has many of the fantastical traits that have us really intrigued about a Tim Burton movie. You have the weird character designs. You have the weird art direction with all the different shapes and oddly, designed houses or sets or interiors. There's always something interesting to the set design that is very specific to Tim Burton. And that is what I love about Tim Burton as a director. He has a specific style that works very well for the kinds of films he likes to go for. And this film has more of a gothic type of tone to it, and sometimes it can be happy and upbeat, but there are a lot of dark moments here and some pretty surprisingly brutal moments too, considering that this is a Disney produced film. There are some moments here that I was surprised Disney allowed Tim Burton to get away with. So there's some stuff in Nightmare Before Christmas and Alice in Wonderland I'm surprised they let him get away with too in those movies. The story itself I really like. I like the idea of having a story that's very akin to Frankenstein and follows some of the same lessons, except we're looking through it through a child's mind, how he's feeling and how doing those same actions will affect him and his family life. And it is viewed in a fantastical sense, obviously, because you cannot really bring back a dog to life. That's impossible. The way Tim Burton tells this story and how he helms these moments where Sparky and Victor are trying to figure this thing out, or more so Victor trying to figure out how to take care of Sparky in his newly dead form, is very interesting to see. Though this movie does focus a lot more on the scientific aspect of what's happening. We see scenes where Victor is talking with his science teacher about what is going to happen if he does this, or why something is different than he expected. And this relationship between him and his science teacher I find to be really engaging despite the minimal scenes they have shared together. As for the other kids, like this weird girl with the cat, or this Asian boy and this fat boy that are trying to win a science fair, or this Igor looking kid that's trying to understand how Victor was able to do this experiment to bring Sparky back to life. They all have their quirks and their things that make them different and unique, and they're all very memorable in their own way. And each one of them have pets that are very integral to the story, including this Frankenstein looking guy, or the Frankenstein's monster looking guy. That argument is never going to go away. I really like how all of them are trying to go up against Victor when he himself is completely focused on something else and has no idea about the repercussions of this experiment. He has no idea what he has really unleashed in terms of the ideas he was able to bring to life. It's not just Sparky. He brought an idea that is very dangerous, and we see how much of an effect that has throughout the entire film, and how it affects his town and his family too, because this normal looking place is very, very strict when it comes to something different that they don't know of, and they're afraid as to what will happen if they find something new, or something that they never heard of before, or something that has changed. A town that's afraid of change. And the mayor here, who serves as sort of the main antagonistic force, rallies that throughout. And you see how much of an effect that has on some of the kids and Victor when they are just told to just do normal things and just do the normal stuff that they need to do. And I really like how this film decides to explore how you could embrace change or keep things the way they are and try to understand that sometimes things either have to be what it needs to be. Sometimes there is an in-between, and that's that. Things just happen the way they do, and that's the lesson Victor has to learn. Though it comes a bit undone at the end, and the movie wants to have a big happy ending after a final climax, which is very similar to Tim Burton's short, but I felt like the ending could have left things a bit more grim if they decided to have kept Sparky dead by the end, after Sparky saved Victor from the fire and he destroys and kills the Bat Cat. I would have preferred that kind of ending. Though the happy ending does work pretty well for what it is, I just preferred something a bit more dark here for this kind of story. Overall, I really enjoyed Frankenweenie. I thought it was well written, well directed. The stop motion animation still looks really good to this day. The characters and their designs and what they do in the film I thought were pretty cool. The messages of science and how that could be used for good or for bad, I thought was explored very well as themes of learning to let go of things sometimes. I think still holds up pretty well in this film and is clear throughout, despite the ending undoing some of that a little bit. But all in all, this is still a really good Tim Burton film, one that I can always find myself rewatching during the Halloween season and getting a kick out of it. I'm going to give Frankenweenie an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.